What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith. Reportedly, her book is not doing so well. According to Amazon, it's not doing well. The reviews are also not very good on the particular book, and this according to Newsweek. Now, I did some digging, and I saw that, Will Smith was actually congratulating her because she was on the New York Times bestseller, if that means anything, right? But according to Amazon, she has only sold 2,700 physical copies. With all of the sort of indifferent to it is what it is type of reviews, and the fact that is not very high on their bestsellers list. Let me say this about Jada Pinkett Smith. You did all of that for what? And people are going to say, well, maybe it was doing good on this list and maybe on the other platform it's not doing. Listen, a good book is going to sell no matter what platform it's on. It's just like streaming. If you do good streaming numbers on Spotify, you're going to do good streaming numbers on iTunes, right? Even Amazon Music, you're going to do good streaming numbers regardless of where you're from. People have had enough. And by the way, we don't know if, people's names could be put on the bestsellers list just for being who they are. I mean, if you actually look at who's in the top 5 of the New York Times bestseller list, you got all these, women, and it's almost like it's some agenda, So I don't really want to care what New York Times has to say. They've been irrelevant for almost 20 years. So when I'm looking at Jada Pinkett and all she did to embarrass Will Smith in order to sell books, even Will Smith didn't go to the low that she went to when he was promoting his own book, right? It was basically him speaking about things about himself that nobody knew. He didn't have to drag Jada Pinkett Smith down, this dysfunctional road. She did that because she doesn't care about Will Smith. Will Smith is a means to an end, and the fact that he is trying to big her up lets you know that she's failing. I mean, Will Smith doesn't have to congratulate her like that publicly if she was actually successful, but she's not successful. She's just somebody that has never been good at anything except for being an actress. But even it came to a point to where no one cared about her as an actress. She was irrelevant then. That's why she tried to do the boycott in 2016 that no one cared about. Because that's just Jada. No one cares what Jada has going on. Jada is a very dysfunctional woman who has her own issues that she's never really gotten help for. So I think she's projected all of that onto Will Smith, and he internalized that insecurity. And that is why they've been able to stay with each other as long as they have. Because you have two insecure people who have come together to have children. Will Smith had he didn't have the best, upbringing, the dysfunction that went on in his household, but he did have both parents. And I think he wants to raise or have a family that the mother and the father are still married, even though they have separated, right? They live separate lives. But I think Will Smith doesn't want to divorce her because he knows he's going to have to pay a financial price that he's not willing to pay. And Jada Pinkett knows that as well. That's why she does what she does. She does what she does because she knows she can get away with it. And she's been getting away with it. See, this is why we have to call out women like Jada Pinkett Smith, because women like Jada Pinkett Smith, they are very dysfunctional people. And when they get their hooks into you, they drag you into their dysfunctional sphere. And you would think that at some point Will Smith will say, you know what, I want to live my life and not have this woman a part of it. But he can't do that because he'll be alone. I think Will Smith is afraid of being alone. He has been with her for so long. The children are already grown. I'm assuming out the house. Maybe Willow still lives with them. I don't know if Jaden still lives with them or not. And I think he's afraid of being alone. So he chooses to put up with somebody who had done everything in her power to make him look like the bad guy. And I think that Will Smith, because his insecurities have been pushed to the forefront due to being with her, I just think that they've bonded over trauma. You got her getting on social media trying to be a therapist. You're nobody's therapist. You're just a dysfunctional middle-aged heifer who wishes she had the career Will Smith had, even though she had a nice run in the 90s, right? But it was never to the level of a Will Smith. And I think that when she had those children and she became more of a mother, I think she became very resentful. You had all those shameful tactics to promote this book. You get on social media and you praise Tupac. A lot of women praise Tupac, but she actually knew Tupac and she shares these intimate letters. It's different. It's clear to me that this woman wants to trigger and upset Will Smith, that she knows that Will Smith has a problem being alone. So he's not going to do anything. He's just going to let it happen because he's afraid of being alone. This is what women like this do. When they know the man that they are with doesn't want to leave them, they will do things in order to tear them down, tear their self-esteem down. She could leave him, but maybe he's begged her not to. He's probably giving her all types of money just to stay away from him privately. Right? But publicly, they put on a nice front because I think Will Smith thinks he needs her for his career when he really doesn't. I think Will Smith's career would continue, would actually get back on track, sort of, in a way. It'd be better than it is now if he left her and said, you know what, this was why I went out and slapped Chris Rock, but he'll never do that. Because a lot of these men of today don't stand up for themselves. They have no backbone, which is why these women are able to do what they are doing. The reason why Jada Pinkett Smith is able to do what she's doing is because she knows Will Smith is not going to stand up for himself. He's never been that type of guy. She knows this. Even though Will Smith has tried to proclaim that he's no longer going to be, you know, a guy that hides his emotions and feelings, right? And be more honest, open and honest, right? He still wants to keep that mask of family, like they're united. And also because he doesn't want to go through a pricey divorce, because he knows she's going to come after him. He knows this. He knows she's going to come after him financially, and he doesn't want to have to deal with that. So it's cheaper to keep her, unfortunately. Now, maybe in Will Smith's mind, you know, she wrote this book, she's gotten whatever she's gotten out of her system, and things can go back to normal. I don't know about that. Once you open that bottle, there's no screwing the cap back on. Okay? She is who she is. And her daughter, your daughter, Will, is learning to be just like her. This is why she's proclaiming all of these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really going to go into it. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? She's trying to be what her mother wishes she was, right? Until she met Will. If Jada Pinkett Smith had never gotten with Will Smith, she'd probably be a baby mama by a couple of different rappers. She'd be Erykah Badu. Okay? I think Jada Pinkett Smith would be Erykah Badu if she never got with Will Smith. I truly believe that. Because she'd never have an emotional pinata to go at. But I do think that Will Smith wants to keep his family together. Even though his children are grown, I still think he wants to keep sort of like that, you know, Will and Jada together. He doesn't want to see her with nobody else. Maybe she doesn't want to see him with nobody else. So you got two people who won't leave each other. So Will is like, you know what? I'm going to support her even though she continues to make me look bad, telling the whole world we've been separated. When they did that sit down on that red table talk, Will Smith should have said, well, we're not together. How are we cheating? He never said that because he still wants to keep that sort of air of we're the Smith family. No, you know, we're this great family. He still wanted to keep that sort of facade going. But now we really know that this is a facade because that's what it is, you know? And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to stop Jada. I mean, Jada has nothing going on. I mean, you have the actor strike, so actors can't go to work. You got Will Smith, who's vacationing on the other side of the world, getting away from her. you know? And she has nothing to do except for go on podcasts and do interviews that continue to make this guy look bad. It's not going to stop. No matter how much she thinks that he's supporting her, it's not going to stop. She's going to continue to make him look bad. She's going to continue to use him in order to build a secondary career. Is she going to start her own podcast? If she had, not the Red Table Talk as far as what that is, because that got canceled. I'm talking about starting another podcast. Will we see her on YouTube? Right? Will we see her on YouTube going live? Maybe we will. But, you know, it don't surprise me that there are a segment of the population that could care less about her book, because everything in that book we already know. She didn't even delve deep into who she really is, because I think Jada's the complete opposite of what she portrays. I think the older she's gotten, the more bitter she's gotten about how she's not able to be who she is. Because I think, you know, Jada is somebody who, again, I think she would love to be single. But because Will Smith is never going to divorce her himself, because she would prefer him to divorce her. I truly believe that. I truly believe that Jada would prefer that Will Smith divorce her first, because then she could say, "Whoa, I tried to make my marriage work." You know, she wants to be the victim. But in this story, Jada, you'll never be the victim. You will always be seen as a villain. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.